Welcome to Upper Zygonia is my current work in progress, inspired by my early attempts at escape from reality. Over the years, I have daydreamed about Upper Zygonia while waiting for doctors and nurses, lying on a stretcher in a hospital outside operating room number 3 awaiting surgery, waiting for bad hospital food, and most recently, as an escape from fretting over this goddamn pandemic. In 2020, I spent a lot of time using magic markers to doodle, and I found myself doodling the world of Upper Zygonia. While Plato talked about the need for responsibility in the use of the imagination, Hegel discussed its infinite plasticity and didn't feel like it should be hemmed in. I see both points of view, but for this work, when I first started writing it, I noticed that I had a settler's colonialist mentality. Amazing how these attitudes are ingrained. Early drafts had only current inhabitants, without wondering where they came from or who the first beings on the planet were. Is care a responsibility of the artist? I think it is. Natalie Diaz, in an interview with David Naiman on his podcast Between the Covers, spoke about her wonderful poetry collection, Post-Colonial Love Poems. She talked about the concept of empathy. I liked her statements that maybe it is not possible to really know what another person is feeling, and perhaps it is presumptuous to believe that you can. What I offer instead is compassion, and I think it is necessary, even when writing about imaginary beings and worlds. Thinking about the possibilities of life, language, the environment, society, culture is a way of engaging with our world and its troubles and joys. During this pandemic, I have spent a lot of time thinking about what a world free of poverty, hunger, war, economic and social disparities would look like. We are witnessing the effects of injustices caused by long-term structural systems of capitalism, patriarchy, and white supremacy. In my anxiety, I wanted to dream of a refuge for those who had been harmed by these systems. Upper Zygonia is a planet in the Zygonian galaxy below Lower Zygonia and larger than Greater Zygonia. Its first beings are dream beings, sea dragons, floating letters with wings, caterflies, flowerfish, and firebirds. Later, the planet is populated by those seeking refuge. Sparrow, who flies to those in need of relief from pain. Silver, who was burned badly in a fire and lost parents and siblings. Lilac, a playful genius who is a non-binary character. Willowmina, the willow tree. The leaflings, who turn into trees when they die. The flowers, ivy, orange blossom, and violet, who are burlesque dancers. Saint Asimica of the Holy Order of Whimsy. Mount Glyph, the River of Codes, the Library of Whimsy. Little Green, one of the many multicolored cats who roam around Upper Zygonia. Airships, hot air balloons, and other whimsical characters, places, spaces, and events. Thank you to the League of Canadian Poets for sponsoring this reading. The act of creation. Draw a circle, invent a planet, fill it with rivers, balk at the borders, add dark green for forests, emerald for fallow land, navy for ocean depths, cerulean for water meeting the shore. Color some remaining areas pink for energy. How it is fueled, is it healthy, is it breathing? What is its atmosphere? Trees are the lungs of the planet. So many questions. Does a planet need more planets to feel less alone? Invent a galaxy. Think about moons. How many should there be? What is the function of the moon? Draw a series of circles and stars. How old is this galaxy? Draw more circles, small and large. Fill them with color and lines. Keep one blank for unknown territory to explore. There must always be a mystery, something to strive toward. Exploration is a conqueror's game. What do you make of that? Will your citizens plant flags in the ground, sing an anthem, pledge their allegiance? Or is that where trouble begins? A claim staked, labels assigned. I am me, but I am not you, and you are not me, so I can't get along with you. Make the planet symbiotic. Each needs the other to breathe and grow. Start from there. The dream beings of Upper Zygonia. Embryonic beginnings of floating in fluid, primary substance and shell held within. Does a fetus dream? The rapid eye movements indicate response to sensation. Sleeping is almost all it does. A creature itself, the tiny hands are fins, swimming with dream companions, sea dragons, Water and air convey fulminations of imagination deep in the unknown regions of the psyche, through synapses and neurons developing in the brain, little bolts of eureka, incantations of creation, from fathoms as far down into the dark as the dark goes, and as high up as the last shred of an asteroid after the death of a star. All that remains is light and dark. Sea dragons witness the birth of dreams before fear and pain, before trauma and grief. Are they black and white, the early stirrings of the psyche? The scribe's first thoughts are oxygen and plasma, tubes and sensation of expansion and contraction, like metal in the cold. The film is grainy, white and black. A heartbeat, sea dragon, sea dragon, sea dragon, sea, from fathom, subconscious, primordial, connected histories, deoxyribonucleic acids spiraling from the elementary makeup of bodies and brains, tail unfurling like a new leaf after a long season of stillness. My eyes are the dragon's eyes. If I am me, then me is everything. The me squeezes against the walls of me. Psyche born of the dark, blue sea and nurtured by the crests of the tide, tied irrevocably to the moon, companion of Eros, banished by Venus, butterfly-winged parent of pleasure, here Psyche weeping on the rocks and alone, banished to the jagged in-betweens. The fin of a dream being is for steering and propulsion through psyche and subconscious, to regulate the lift and thrust of spirit for motion and stability, maneuver of memory and logic and insight. A thought is an oscillation from inertia to change. Press a button, see the spark. A question is the pressure that keeps a thought moving. See the spark catch fire. Wings fly over a forest of ideas, set aflame by dreaming, a conflagration of the mind. I am kept awake by little fires dreaming, sea dragon flames of inspiration. I am not a night creature, I never was, yet the undulations of Imago turn the shadows of night into galaxies of possibilities. Sea dragons, I imagine their massive tails like the humpbacks splashing to the surface in the glassy smooth waters of the Bering Sea. Mageptera Novae Angliae, big-winged, pectoral blue, shadow looming, a wave begins. Draw the first line in thick gold, continue with roundness, the fluidity of smooth marker, shaping the space on the small page. A face with eyes brings the being to life. The tail with its arrow end makes it a dragon, and wings, and horns, and open mouth. Fill its body with red, add lines in gold and black to give the appearance of haunches and muscles that move through the brain's fog of new fires. The scribe played in the tub as a youngster, moving caps of shampoo bottles around by motion of hands and splashing to make waves, capsizing the little ships of stories. Hand is a sea dragon, thumb is the great tail unfurling, slap is the sound the tail makes on the water, slap, slap, slap is the sound that delights the scribe as a child in the tub whose fingers turn pruny as the story goes on. Myrna the sea dragon swims, but where and why the name? The act of naming is the first of creation. Myrna prances in the water, treading foam and dreams into the rouge pores of her skin. Tough dragon skin, impervious to fret. The sea dragon swims with no destination in mind, because destinations haven't yet been invented. The sea dragon twirls its tail, breathes fire, and singes the rocks that glow in the unfathomable dark. Early ignition of an idea unfurls. First colors, a pink flower that sways, the first plant, a soft shade in the unremitting dark, the sea dragon and the pink flower, no longer alone. The ink maker leaves Earth for the Zygonian galaxy. A vessel of noon clings to the lid below the signature of Zygonia on the Inkmaker's first trip off planet. Alphabets mingle as the Milky Way on the viewing deck is joined in story by the Zygonian galaxy, after a brief stop to drop off the first part of the journey with its bright blue ink. The Inkmaker dies and frets over the faded colors of dreams. The signature circles around Zygonia to articulate a message. Tourists and new residents attempt to absorb the language. The Inkmaker forages from dreams, unraveling into iron and chlorophyll swirls of glitches, recto and verso, seeks traces of a renowned scribe whose epic aches of blue-green sea. The scribe invented the Zygonian galaxy. For those to whom Zygonia is given, a foaming unknown, from runes to a creature of a language. The scribe's instrument, a quiver of tiny wills and will. Sparrow arrives. The rocket ship travels wordless. Sparrow dreams of companion angels in a language of sleep, drawing pictograms of flame, a late autumn beside the lighthouse. Windfall russets tumbled from the pain of an ancient language. Silver had been rescued from a solitary shout. Sparrow wings onto the new land, fidgets with wings when wind blows away memories of abandonment. Silver and lilac found to each other in song, a message in a bottle. The rustle of the planet as the rocket lands in the morning, the sun touches each mysterious glyph. A long journey away, loneliness the color of still dry parchment. The ocean is a scroll unraveling alphabets in the breeze. The yellowing sulfur of their former planet in the collapse of histories. Lilac is happy-go-lucky. Win the game of noughts and crosses. Lilac's smile cheers the X. Silver's O wiggles. Lilac can't concentrate as the vertical and horizontal lines predict future maneuvers. Sparrow conjures a backyard with weeping willows. Drinks lavender tea. Upends the saucer to decipher a future, eyelids flickering as the fireflies fill the night sky with sparks. Silver examines photos of the little cottage and flower birds, its brightly colored walls, easing the ache of memory. Sparrow's wings, tides of sadness as wind curling into rivers. Silver's pain, a metal nib scraped over tablet made silver wince. Sparrow's sepia wing, silver's tears after sudden onslaught of pain, a mordant that binds, ink upended from a bottle, sinking into the fiber of skin. The scars of sparrow's wings can't differentiate between silver's pain and the almost green-leafed messages of surrender to otherworldly. Endless agony weighs sparrow down. Hospital visits to the bleeding sufferers, pages turning dread, cries of the valiant child, flame every chapter. The long, low blooms burn poppies, black walnut, tannic melancholy into the paper. Sparrow flies each ripple, a torture still with silver, into stings until sparrow almost invisible sings sorrow feather by feather away. The flowers of autumn calendar the wall. One feather of wave into being is one big wound, the other a shot through the ailing, singed by the pigment with hope. Pronouns. Zo, zos, zos, zes, 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 zir, zirm, zirm. You assign your own gender. doesn't mean flowery or weak or angry or violent. It doesn't give you permission to be anything but kind, but it makes you feel at home if you want it to. Or if no gender makes you feel right, it's up to you. You assign your own gender as you are. There are some we use here, but they are only if you prefer them. You can make up what suits you. Reinvent yourself as appeals. Choose a color or your favorite candy adjective. Sweet, sweetling, sweetest. Willowmina, the willow tree, sees the new arrivals. Darlings, did you see the wings, brown and bedraggled, bump against the leafling? I am reminded of the great dances at the house of whimsy. My catkins shrivel at the sound of pleasure. A mauve child is dancing around the winged passenger, ignoring me entirely, I so obviously glorious. Z is stooping down in the roar of the rocket. There's another child who is silver, not an ounce of curiosity. Poor dear seems shy. The bird being has wings, the color of mud. It's lovely. The engines disturb the flower birds. How intriguing. The birds befriended a cantankerous feline. In tutu time it minces its way carefully. Z pats its green head. The mauve child furrows my bark. As Zoe skips by, a slender twig falls. At the river of codes there will be tea, parties, and dances, in their honor, I suppose, to welcome them. The rocket flames are a shade of a ball gown I wore to the dance of whimsy. I founded the burlesque. See the new residents, a bird, no, a what exactly? I miss society, darlings. These latest traipsing their way over, reticent on the beach. I love the flowers that still remember and visit me, weaving my strands into their hair. The bird-like creature follows the children, my willow skin shivers. I am not able to wear my Zygonite stones from head to toe. Long strands of leaves bedecked in pink would drop over the hot sand. Buds replace them in the beginnings of my transformation. What happens at the house of burlesque? A different snare, the stuff of drums, is the sun, one of the suns, beating down, live and colorful, sparkling on the music of Violet's corset and fedora, a feather boa all painted indigo and crimson. Awake or let them night, and keep them with their gyrating to swing music, as sunrise of two suns they call Diana, a stone's throw from wines and dining, as ivy's confident feathers tickle orange blossom. Burlesque dancers strut the house of burlesque. Precious, beautiful, orange blossom, ivy, and violet, concerto the halls. Zygonite, a series of modified abecedaria. Zones yield gentle orchestrations naturally in tailor-made elements. Zygonite. Zany yards get oozy, nested in tantalizing Edens. Zygonite. Zonked yarrow gets oily, needing instant treatment early. Zygonite. Zinc's yearning gestation over natural ichor trickling everywhere. Zygonite. Zig your green origins now in tempestuous ether. Zygonite. Zippy yearlings grease owls' nightly investigations too eerily. Zygonite. Zero yesterdays give old news, irrationally tense expectations. Zygonite. Zest your glowing otherness, next is total ecstasy. Zygonite. Legends of Zygonite. Pink crystals grow in the sea against the coral. They glow, emitting a vibration into the ether, gathered by instruments and spread over the planet as a harmonious series of notes that provide energy to the Zygonian galaxy. On the day of pink rain, inhabitants stand outside to celebrate. On the day of pink rain, they get drenched and dance. On the day of pink rain, the flowerfish and the sea dragons sway in the ocean. On the day of pink rain, leaflings spread their branches to cup the rain in the curl of their leaves. On the day of pink rain, the House of Burlesque runs performances outdoors. The flowers do a slow striptease. Bands play long guitar riffs on electric guitars powered by Zygonite. Upper Zygonians make love for hours in the rain. On the day of pink rain, Little Green and the other multicolored cats of Upper Zygonia lick their paws pink with rain. On the first day of experiencing the pink rain, the ink maker places empty jars outside to collect them. On the first day they experience pink rain, Sparrow flies through Upper Zygonia, singing and spreading her wings. Lilac and silver splash in the puddles. After the day of pink rain, it is stored in huge vats to be distributed to all inhabitants as needed to lift their spirits, to give them energy, to heat and give light to their homes, to power airships. No one knows the age of the planets of the Zygonian galaxy. Caves contain the scrawls of the scribe, rough outlines of the first dream beings. Digging underground reveals large veins of pink precious minerals. In the east from Upper Zygonia and south from Lower Zygonia, there is an unnamed planet. No one has traveled there. It is rumored that the unknown planet is covered in fields of Zygonite flowers, Zygonite stones, and endless pink rain. Zygonite is energy. Zygonite cures disease. Zygonite is euphoria. Zygonite makes you strong. Zygonite can reduce melancholy if desired. Zygonite is abundant. Zygonite is shared. Zygonite is an aphrodisiac. Zygonite inspires whimsy, complicated and precarious sculpture, vivid murals, heartful concertos, delicately painted landscapes, humor, and wacky poetry. Interview with a leafling of Upper Zygonia. How does it happen? Eventually, a branch connects the middle of everyone. What does it feel like? A little tree breathing, minding my own business. I live in a grove with other trees and the rain. Do you miss being a biped? I am sated at the top of my morning, transformed into a tall tree with liminal leafy green. The concert of trees and river water's strong, upstanding bark. Does everyone experience it the same? Roots are gradual for some. Little shoots grow out of their bodies. Your body changes you. How do you help people grieve? Your life could be tears, a little nub on shoulder. I don't know. The merest touch of all those who die is an outstretch of everyone. Maybe leaflings rustle when a good life for others reaches a turning point. A famous elderly scribe became a tree. Now all I hear is music. The thick, bushy leaves fall yellow and orange for what we have lost. Thank you to the League of Canadian Poets, not only for sponsoring this reading, but also for all the support in the past. I've been a member now for 8 years and have been grateful for all they do. You can find out more about the League's programs and also about how to join at poets.ca. Thank you to all those who are watching, to all who have supported me all of these years and indulged my need for whimsy, exploration, and connection with kindred misfits. I hope something here resonates for you. Maybe you recognize yourself or can find a kindred. If you'd like more information about me, you can visit amandaearl.com, and I'm always available on Twitter to chat, at Kikifall, or via email, amanda@amandaearl.com. Reach out anytime. Sending all of you love and whimsy.